And at number 10, quits Twitter constantly. A lot of Chrissy's fans love her blunt and uncensored comments, but these flippant comments are what usually land her in hot water online. And a lot of her critics claim that she dishes out constantly but can never take any criticism back. And this is proven true by how often she decides to leave Twitter or even deactivate her account. Usually she does this when she's getting too much hate for some tone-deaf comments. On March 25th of 2021, she announced that she was deactivating her Twitter account for good, writing in an Instagram post, quote, "The platform no longer serves me as positively as it does negatively. So with that, I bid you adieu." However, she did return less than a month after that announcement, but she has left again since. And at number 9, Courtney Stodden. The most recent reason Chrissy was canceled from the internet was because her past bullying was exposed. According to an interview Stodden did with the Daily Beast, they claim that Chrissy repeatedly told them to take their own life. BuzzFeed pulled screenshots of the tweets Teigen sent in 2011 and 2012, and many of the tweets which tagged Stodden mocked and attacked them. The tweets told Stodden to go to sleep forever and told them that they looked like an idiot. And to make things even worse, Stodden alleged that Chrissy would not just tweet about them, but also send Stodden private messages. These messages apparently told Stodden to end their own life and told Stodden that Teigen couldn't wait for them to die. The backlash against these tweets got so bad that Chrissy decided to apologize. Writing on Twitter, quote, "I was an insecure, attention-seeking troll. I'm ashamed and completely embarrassed of my behavior, but that is nothing compared to how I made Courtney feel." And at number 8, blocked 1 million people. Following a huge scandal where critics accused Chrissy of having ties to disgraced billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, she decided to block 1 million people off Twitter to try and mitigate the backlash. After her comment section started getting flooded with pizza emojis and people asked her to address the claims, she decided to block anyone that was tweeting at her. Writing on Twitter, quote, "I have blockchained over 1 million people. 1 million people today, and I'm still flooded with sick psychopaths. So please spare me the just ignore them, they're trolls." And although I understand Chrissy needed to protect her mental health at the time, many think the fact that she refused to address the rumors made her seem more guilty of the alleged connection. And at number 7, Quansine Wallace. After the comments about Courtney Stodden were exposed, people started to look further into Chrissy's past and found some nasty tweets from Chrissy about child actor Quansine Wallace. Back in 2013, while Chrissy was watching the Oscars, she decided to call out 9-year-old Quansine Wallace. She tweeted, quote, "Is it okay to call a small child cocky?" Adding later, quote, "I'm forced to like Quansine Wallace because she's a child, right? Okay, fine." Making it clear who she was talking about in that first tweet. After this attack, she was dragged online for her comments, but she didn't seem to care and never apologized for the tweets. And at number 6, weird Instagram photo. Chrissy is well known online for sharing a lot about her life and posting intimate details about her and her family. But sometimes the internet thinks she takes it too far. This photo is one of those times. She posted a photo on March 16th of herself topless in some sort of corset with her 2-year-old son in between her legs. The caption read, quote, "Please move, mommy is trying to be thirsty." And tons of the comments started immediately calling out how strange the photo was and saying this is a really odd thing to post to the internet. Chrissy responded to the backlash, telling all the haters to respond in the same area so she can block them all at once. Halfway at number 5, Kardashian drama. In March of 2021, Chrissy posted online that she was starting a plant-based cleaning brand with Kris Jenner called Safely. She also said that the products were years in the making on her post, but the reaction to the news was very negative for a number of reasons. People were firstly calling out the women for claiming the products were years in the making when they were most likely influenced by the pandemic. Also, many thought it was funny that 2 women that most likely don't even clean their own homes were starting a cleaning brand. Chrissy also got a lot of hate personally for working with the Kardashians. Chrissy responded to this backlash by taking a few days off Twitter. And at number 4, tone-deaf tweets. One of the many tone-deaf tweets that Chrissy has received backlash for over the years was one following a shooting in Canada. In 2014, she tweeted, quote, "Active shooting in Canada, or as we call it in America, Wednesday." Adding after, quote, "This is not a joke, it's a fact." And even though it seems that she was trying to draw attention to gun issues in the United States, it came off very tone-deaf. One person responded, quote, "Thanks for the neighborly love in this time of pain in Canada. Acts of terror are not funny." After tons of backlash, she decided to apologize, writing, quote, "Thank you, but it honestly wasn't a joke, but I shouldn't have made it about us." And at number 3, TMI about love. Chrissy loves to share raunchy details about her and her husband John Legend's life. And although tons of her fans love it, a lot of them think she should keep those things to herself. One of the craziest things that's been exposed is that her and her husband got intimate at an event for Obama's 2008 campaign. When the comments were first made, everyone assumed they hooked up at the White House, but later she clarified that was not the case. She also shared that her and her husband are a part of the Mile High Club, and lastly she shared that the couple actually hooked up in their first time meeting, after she starred in his music video for Stereo. And honestly, this is the one thing about Chrissy I actually find kinda hilarious, not gonna lie. And at number 2, privileged tweet. In the midst of COVID lockdowns, Chrissy received backlash after she tweeted that she was shipping clam chowder all the way from Boston. She tweeted, quote, "This is not an ad, but if you're holed up at home, ordering America's best food from Gold Belly is the way to go right now. Currently shipping clam chowder from Boston to myself." Many felt the tweet was very privileged and ill-timed, considering many were panicked at this time and not sure how they were going to be paying their bills after their jobs were shut down. In response to the backlash, she tweeted again, quote, "Correction, do not order soup." And finally, number 1, Fab Life. Fab Life was a daytime talk show program hosted by Tyra Banks and Chrissy Teigen. However, almost immediately after the show started, there were rumors of tension between the models. Only a few months after the show began, Tyra decided to leave, and many blamed Chrissy. Chrissy responded writing, quote, "I don't know if you guys know how bosses work, but if Tyra and I were fighting as hard as you're saying, I would be the one off the show." An insider reported that Tyra did not like the direction the show was heading, and it was creatively very frustrating. Then the source confirmed that there was tension between the models, mostly because of the 10-year age gap. The source added, quote, "They are so different. Tyra thinks about everything. She thinks about what to say, down to when to move her arm. Chrissy is from the new school, where she says whatever she wants." The show was canceled shortly after.
At number 10, Kanye West. Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have been in the news a lot this year following their divorce announcement. The couple announced early this year that they were divorcing, ending their 6-year marriage, but naturally, things escalated in the news and rumors started circulating. For a little while at the beginning of this year, the internet was abuzz with rumors that Kanye had cheated on his wife with YouTuber and makeup mogul Jeffree Star. Though those allegations were denied, and some people even got in trouble for trying to expose Kanye, some others have popped up a little while later trying to claim that Kanye was actively looking to cheat on Kim. Reality TV star Claudia Jordan exposed the rapper and alleged that Kanye, quote, "tried to hook up with her while still with Kim." During an appearance on the Dominic Natty show, Claudia said, quote, "He tried years ago. Me and Nikki Chu were in the club, they shut the door, I met him, and you know what? I hung out with Kim as well. And because of girl code, I couldn't do it. Let's say that," end quote. It seems as though people are trying really hard to expose Kanye for some kind of infidelity. Clearly something has been going on because of how many people are coming forward claiming that Kanye cheated on his wife. There's no way to know for sure if any of these claims are true, but I'm sure that in a couple weeks someone else would try to expose the rapper once again for something similar. At number 9, Joe Exotic. After the success of the Tiger King documentary on Netflix last year, Joe Exotic became something of a celebrity for a hot second. He really became more of a meme, but for a while there, news sources were reporting on his life developments as though he were any other public figure. In fact, they're still reporting on his life from time to time, especially after his ex-husband exposed him. Joe's ex-husband, Joe Finley, recently came forward to talk about his relationship with the now imprisoned Big Cat owner and exposed his marriage to him, revealing that it was all fake. John said that his whole marriage was just for Joe's popularity, remarking that the wedding that was shown in the documentary, which showed him, Joe, and Travis Maldonado, was all, quote, basically just a publicity stunt so Joe could get his own reality TV series. John has also said that he's since moved on with a woman and is trying to forget his past with Joe, which is a bit difficult for him since he's still carrying around tattoos of Joe's name, which he says will be covered up in the future. Now, before I carry on with this list, I'd like to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also check out my gaming channel Viper Girl if you're looking to enjoy some fun gameplay content as well. Go subscribe and I'll see you there. At number 8, David Dobrik. A few weeks ago, YouTuber David Dobrik had been facing backlash after having been exposed for his content as well as the treatment of his friends. David's former friend Seth Francois came forward talking about how David played a part in his assault, and David's other friend Big Nick spoke out about the bullying he endured while he still hung out with him and the rest of the vlog squad. David also faced backlash for having included footage of an incident that led to the assault of one of his former fans. Now another person has come forward to expose David for his actions, and that person is fellow YouTuber and influencer Tana Mojo. This all happened after YouTuber Trisha Paytas made a TikTok about how David and her ex-boyfriend Jason once tried to convince Trisha to engage in a group sex activity with a then 19-year-old Tana. In response to this TikTok, Tana commented on the video saying, quote, "Tag yourself. I'm the 19-year-old who's now in therapy and trying to stay out of the drama." In the past, Tana has commented on how uncomfortable the situation with David and Jason made her, and that Jason being interested in much younger women has made her feel uneasy, but now this exposure from Tana and Trisha has just brought up this old drama once again, just as we thought this YouTube drama was starting to subside. At number 7, Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. Recently, Tristan Thompson has found himself in yet another cheating scandal, as he's once again been accused of being unfaithful to Khloe Kardashian. Tristan is accused of cheating on Khloe with Instagram model Sydney Chase. Now, you would think that Tristan would be the only one being exposed since he's been caught cheating, but Khloe has also been exposed for getting involved in the drama. Sydney posted screenshots to her Instagram story which showed Khloe confronting the model about the situation, saying, quote, "Hey Sydney, this is Khloe. I would appreciate it if our conversation can remain confidential," and then some other redacted information. Sydney has come forward saying that Tristan cheated on Khloe when he and the model met up the day after his daughter True's birthday. In response to this, Tristan has called Sydney a liar, claiming that the things that she's been saying about him are, quote, "malicious, defamatory fabrications." Now a lawsuit is brewing, and I'm sure this is only just the beginning of this drama. At number 6, Coldplay. Recently, the music group Coldplay has been exposed and caught under fire after Lady Gaga fans alleged that the band stole their new album concept from their mother Monster. This comes after Coldplay announced their new era of music and the release of their new song Higher Power. Their new theme is very neon, featuring the colors blue, pink, and purple, and they're seemingly calling it Chaotica. This sounds cool, but not very creative, as Lady Gaga fans were quick to point out the similarities between Chaotica and Lady Gaga's 2020 album Chromatica. This album featured a very similar neon color palette and a pretty similar name. Fans have said that these artists' albums' aesthetics are too similar to be a coincidence. Both Chaotica and Chromatica are essentially the artists' respective made-up planets that their albums are based on, and so these similarities have fans feeling a little strange. What do you guys think? Is it a ripoff or just a coincidence? At number 5, Bill Gates. Bill and Melinda Gates have been making headlines lately after announcing their divorce, ending their marriage of 27 years. Though their divorce is big news, the bigger headlines that people are focusing on now is the fact that Bill has been exposed for his dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. Information has come out suggesting that Melinda had been making plans to divorce her husband since back in 2019 because of her husband's ties with Epstein. Melinda has apparently been unhappy with her husband's relationship with Epstein for years and reportedly made the decision to begin the divorcing process in 2019 after a report by the New York Times had linked Bill and Jeffrey. Melinda had previously warned Bill about the billionaire when they first met back in 2013. However, despite her forewarnings, Bill allegedly continued to meet with Epstein, later leading him to getting exposed for their relationship when Epstein was arrested in 2019. Melinda seemingly wanted out of her marriage as soon as she realized that Bill was in too deep with Epstein, and as a result, Bill has not only been re-exposed for their shady relationship, but also for going against his wife's warnings about getting too close to him. At number 4, MrBeast. YouTube philanthropist Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, was exposed recently after former employees came forward with allegations of creating a toxic work environment and belittling staff. 11 of MrBeast's former employees spoke out against the YouTuber, describing a difficult work environment and saying that his, quote, "demeanor changed when the cameras weren't around," end quote. A former editor claimed that the YouTuber made unreasonable demands and that he received threats and hateful comments from MrBeast's fans as well. Another former editor claimed that he had been bullied by Jimmy, saying that he used slurs meant to disparage people with mental disabilities. He had actually come forward about this before a few years ago, where he claimed that he was, quote, "yelled at, bullied, and called replaceable by MrBeast every single day." MrBeast has been considered by many to be a wholesome and good person, as he's been known to give back to people using his platform for philanthropy, but now that these people have painted a very different picture of the content creator, things could be changing for him. At number 3, Childish Gambino. It looks like actor and singer Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, might be facing a lawsuit after he was recently called out and accused of ripping off one of his songs from another artist. Rapper Kid West is reportedly suing the artist, claiming that Gambino stole his hit song This Is America from him, ripping off his song Made in America. According to West, he released his song Made in America on SoundCloud SoundCloud in September 2016 and later released it on YouTube for the public to listen to for free. He also says that he registered the song with the US Copyright Office in 2017. Gambino's song This Is America came out the following year and went on to win a Grammy for Record of the Year. Kid West claims, quote, "The chorus or hook of This Is America is unmistakably similar, if not practically identical to his Made in America, and that Gambino's flow is also very similar." There's no word yet on Childish Gambino's take on this, but don't worry, I'll keep you updated. At number 2, James Charles. YouTuber James Charles has certainly been having a bad year so far. He's already been exposed a few times this year for having inappropriate relationships with some of his younger fans, but on top of that, he's now being exposed by a former employee. A couple of weeks ago, James was in the news after a former employee issued a lawsuit against him, citing wrongful termination. His former creative director, Kelly Rockline, accused the beauty guru of several instances of terrible treatment, and according to some other sources, other issues that Kelly addressed in her lawsuit include, quote, "failure to pay all wages, disability discrimination, and failure to provide reasonable accommodation." Kelly also claims that she was being overworked, having worked over 80 hours a week without overtime pay while on minimum wage. Kelly has also alleged that James has used the N-word in front of her on several occasions as well. This suit has apparently been going on since 2019 after James's legal team refused to settle in early conversations, and the suit went over to the LA County Superior Court. Now it is a back and forth battle that has gone public, and it's not looking good for James's image. And finally, at number 1, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen was recently exposed after past tweets and DMs came back to haunt her. These alleged posts seem to show Chrissy publicly bullying a then 16-year-old Courtney Stodden. Courtney rose to fame after they married Doug Hutchison when they were still a teenager. This marriage sparked international attention and seemingly saw Chrissy turn dark as she allegedly sent a number of hateful messages to Courtney. Recalling the many incredibly hurtful and offensive messages they used to receive from Teigen, Courtney said, quote, "I think for me, because I experienced so much harassment and bullying from her when I was just 16 years old, just 17 years old, just 18 years old at a time when I needed help. Like I was being a end quote." Chrissy has since apologized to Courtney for her actions after being exposed, but if you've read some of the messages she sent, you would understand why Courtney has carried this pain with them for all this time.
And at number 10, Tom Girardi. Tom Girardi first became a legal celebrity after he represented the town of Hinckley against PG&E in a landmark case that would turn into Aaron Brockovich the movie. After this case, his success exploded, and he became one of the wealthiest and most well-respected lawyers ever. He then married Erica Jane and became a part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But things with Tom are going downhill fast. Erica recently filed for divorce, and it's now been revealed that Tom was a scammer who stole money from his clients and allegedly used it to fund his and Erica's lavish life. Tom is apparently now broke, and he's not mentally capable to care for himself anymore. There are also rumors that Erica is involved in all of this, and some even claim she's twisting the media narrative to try and help with Tom and his legal dealings. Only time will tell what happens with Erica, but as of now, Tom is disgraced and will never be respected in the legal community again. And at number 9, Matt Damon. Matt Damon just did a case of instant regret. Basically, during an interview, he shared a story about how his daughter urged him to stop using the F slur as it's homophobic. Damon claims that he only used it as a joke and never in a hurtful manner, but that his daughter's words resonated with him and decided to stop. But that instantly backfired, with people calling out the star for ever saying it in the first place. So then the actor tried to clear the air and clarify that he never actually said the F word. He only heard it back when he was a kid, adding that he never used it in his personal life, but his daughter's words just resonated with him. I think it's clear he was trying to get some sort of praise for being woke, and that's why I brought it up, but thankfully it backfired. We really just should stop praising people for doing the bare minimum. And at number 8, Khloe Kardashian. Khloe broke the internet when it was revealed that an unedited photo of her was going viral online. Even worse, after the photo started to gain traction, Khloe got her lawyers involved and hired an entire team to scour the internet and remove this photo. But obviously it can't stop the internet from spreading things around, and the harder Khloe tried to remove this photo, the bigger the story got. The photo in question shows Khloe in a bikini by a pool without any makeup on or airbrushing. After the story got too big to ignore, Khloe's camp released a statement saying that the photo was taken during a private gathering and was posted online without her permission. I think it's clear that Khloe is never going to stop editing her photos. It seems that the more negative attention the public gives her for her looks, the worse things seem to get. So at this point, I think we should probably just let her be and let her do what she wants with her looks without commenting on it. And at number 7, Chrissy Teigen. Chrissy Teigen faced major backlash this year after she was exposed for being being an online bully to countless other celebrities. These people included Courtney Stodden, Avril Lavigne, and even 9-year-old Quansney Wallace. After tons of pushback, Chrissy apologized and even decided to take some time off the internet. During this time, tons of brands dropped her, and sponsors stopped backing her. However, Chrissy decided to return to the internet less than a month after this near career-ending scandal, to the dismay of many. After Chrissy blatantly showed how little she cares about the terrible things that she's done, I think it's time for us to all stop supporting her and giving her a platform to which she just uses to tear other people down. And at number 6, Jamie Lynn Spears. Jamie Lynn Spears has been getting dragged online recently, with Britney's fans attacking her. After Britney recently made a lot of negative comments about her family, even specifically calling out Jamie Lynn in some of them, it's clear Britney despises her entire family, including her younger sister. After Jamie Lynn started getting hate, she responded, quote, "Maybe I didn't support her the way the public would like me to with a hashtag on a public platform, but I can assure you that I've supported my sister long before there was a hashtag, and I'll support her long after." But Britney has been clapping back at those sorts of statements. In one caption, Britney wrote, quote, "I don't like that my sister showed up at an awards show and performed my songs to remixes. My so-called support system hurt me deeply. This conservatorship killed my dreams." It's clear that Jamie Lynn just wants to live a normal life, somewhat away from the spotlight, and even though fans want to support Britney, it doesn't mean that we should attack Jamie without even knowing the full story. Halfway number 5, Adele. Adele burst onto the scene with her chart-topping album 19, and even though her voice was captivating audiences everywhere, it seems that all anyone could pay attention to was her body. At first, she was shamed heavily in the media for her larger figure. Chanel designer Karl Lagerfeld once said, quote, "She's a little too fat, but she has a beautiful face and a divine voice." So yikes, awful stuff. A few years later, Adele decided to drop a shocking amount of weight, looking essentially unrecognizable. And even though she still has her amazing voice, it seems all anyone talks about now is her weight. Adele addressed all the chatter on her episode of SNL, saying in a skit, quote, "I know I look really different since you last saw me, but actually because of all the COVID restrictions, I had to travel light and I could only bring half of me. This is the half I chose." And at number 4, Chris Harrison. The Bachelor host Chris Harrison was caught up in a massive scandal after he supported Rachel Kirkconnell during her scandal. Rachel was a frontrunner on Matt James's season at the time that content surfaced showing Rachel dressed as a Native American person and attending an antebellum plantation-themed college party. And even though Rachel is the one that was in the scandal, when Chris stepped in to somewhat defend her, he got cancelled. The backlash against him was so bad, Chris was forced to apologize 2 different times via Instagram and ended up leaving the show for good. There's been a lot of debate over whether the punishment fits the crime in regards to Harrison's scandal, but at this point I think we should just, kind of let it go and stop talking about it. And at number 3, Hailey Baldwin and Justin Bieber's marriage. Since these two got back together and got married, it feels like the whole world thinks it's a lie. And both people are just in the marriage for other reasons, like Justin wants to get over Selena Gomez, while Hailey just wants clout. And whenever anything negative is revealed about their relationship, the whole world seems to just pile on and make matters worse. Also, Jelena fans will not stop bringing up Selena and Justin's relationship and essentially making Hailey feel like the other woman. Hailey is so fed up with this whole narrative, she actually commented on Instagram about it. When fans started trashing her marriage, Hailey wrote, quote, "We're adults that have better things to do than waste time explaining something just so you can stop your delusional fantasies. I'm not going to sit here and let obsessive strangers try and tell me about my own husband. You want to talk about somebody's husband? Then get your own. Good night." And at number 2, Kanye West. Kanye West has been making headlines for his questionable behavior for years now, but with all the hype around his latest project Donda, it's clear his mother's death is a pivotal reason for all this behavior. Over the years, Kanye has been picking fights with other celebrities, getting emotional in front of crowds, and tweeting out controversial takes. All of this unpredictable behavior even forced Kim Kardashian to file for divorce in order to look out for their kids. Kim also revealed Kanye suffers from bipolar disorder, and this is the cause of many of his outbursts. I think it's clear that Kanye needs help to deal with all the demons that he's been suppressing all these years, along with the help to deal with his recent divorce. And the media needs to just give him time and space to do so. And finally, at number 1, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Harry and Meghan were some of the most talked about people last year. Everyone was talking about the drama their marriage caused, their new baby, and what kind of role Meghan would be taking in the family. However, things changed quickly when Harry and Meghan decided to leave London to get some space and figure things out right before the pandemic hit. While they were locked inside because of the pandemic, the pair realized they didn't want to be part of the royal family anymore and officially left in 2021. Since then, the couple has been living in LA and are trying to make a life for themselves outside of the royal family. At this point, it's hard to tell if they want to be left alone from the press or if they want the fame and attention. But I think after all the pair has gone through, the media should just give them their space and stop talking about them.
At number 6, on-stage slur.
Celebrities have a lot of eyes on them at all times, so for them it's important to be mindful of how many people are watching so as to not offend anyone, but as much as some celebrities try to avoid a scandal, others don't think about that and end up in hot water because of their actions. Take Travis Scott for example. The rapper seems to get into the majority of his scandals and controversies while on stage with thousands of people watching him. Each of them has their phones out and many of them are filming the rapper, and sometimes they catch something cancelable. This is how Travis Scott got cancelled back in 2015 because someone captured footage of the rapper yelling gay slurs at the crowd. Now I can't show you the footage here because YouTube will get very mad at me, but with that in mind I'm sure you can piece together how bad this footage was. The rapper was using the F slur among others, yelling at the crowd at his show at Houston's House of Blues. The rapper apologized to his fans as later in that year Travis tweeted saying, quote, "At my shows I get a little turned up. Sorry for that, but never will I disrespect that community. I don't want you to think of me as a spaz. Though when I get excited I tend to say the first thing on my mind out loud. I've been working on that as a person, takes time, but we all ain't perfect." At number 5, Lollapalooza. The incident that happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld concert a few weeks ago was a tragedy, but this kind of madness at his concerts isn't new and has happened before. However, it didn't end as badly as this most recent event. Back in the summer of 2015, Travis was arrested following his performance at Lollapalooza in Chicago after he caused the crowd to become very unsafe for those in attendance. His performance only lasted about 5 minutes before being shut down after the rapper encouraged fans to jump the security barricades and storm the stage. Shortly after that, Travis was arrested for disorderly conduct. In the footage captured from the event, Travis was seen telling security at the event to move and to not stop fans from climbing the barricades and saying, quote, "Middle finger up to security right now." The rapper went even further, inciting chaos by chanting, "We want rage."
Yeah! We want rage! We want rage! We want rage! We want rage! We want rage!
After dozens of fans stormed the stage, the event organizers cut the music and Travis told his fans to stop because he wanted to finish performing, saying, quote, "We can start over, everybody just get down." Travis never got to finish his set though because security shut down the show and Travis left the premises shortly after and was later taken into police custody. Because of the quick response time from security, no one was injured, but things could have gone very wrong if things had continued without being shut down. At number 4, anti-black comments. When big political or social events are being talked about and picked apart in the media, a lot of fans like to turn to their favorite celebrities for their input on said situation. For example, during the height of the Black Lives Matter movement last year, many fans called on celebrities to make a statement about what was going on in the world. Sometimes these celebrities make good and profound statements, sending good messages to their fans, and others put their foot in their mouth and end up facing backlash. Travis Scott is one of those people who said the wrong thing about a controversial topic and got cancelled for it. Back in 2014, during a Hot 97 interview, Travis was asked about his thoughts on the death of Michael Brown, a black man who was killed by a police officer. Travis gave his thoughts on the matter, suggesting that it was Michael Brown's behavior that caused him to be killed by the officer, not the problems of systemic racism in the police force. In a clip from the interview, Travis elaborated on his thoughts surrounding the situation.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Mike Brown was just like an evil person, but I'm not saying he was perfect either. And I'm not saying he deserved to get killed.
He didn't.
But I'm not saying that he didn't deserve to, like, you know, pay for consequences that he probably inflicted.
A lot of fans also thought that Travis was victim blaming when he said, quote, "I know we're like fed up with whatever is going on in culture, but at the same time you gotta stop putting yourself in situations where you're continuously having the situation go down." This scandal initially blew over, but the interview resurfaced again in 2018 when it was announced that the rapper was going to be performing at the Super Bowl after other artists backed out in solidarity of Colin Kaepernick, who was blacklisted from the NFL after taking a knee during the national anthem. At number 3, Astroworld. Travis has faced a lot of backlash in the past, as we've come to learn, between the offensive things that he said and his conduct during his concerts, but now let's talk about his most recent scandals that he's facing and why he's cancelled right now. We have all no doubt heard about what happened at Travis Scott's Astroworld concert just a few weeks ago. The rapper's performance ended in tragedy as the chaos that ensued during the concert left multiple people dead and hundreds injured. As of now, 10 people have lost their lives due to the events that unfolded and many others are still recovering recovering from their injuries, as well as the families of those affected still trying to cope with everything. There is a lot of footage circulating the internet showing what happened that night and the madness that occurred during the performance, with people showing crowds of people and even some yelling "Stop the show." After the incident, we found out that the Houston police chief actually warned Travis about crowd control prior to the event, expressing his concerns for public safety at the event. After people found this out, Travis started facing even more backlash as fans said that if the rapper really listened to this warning, these casualties could have been avoided. Both Travis and Kylie Jenner faced a lot of backlash, and even though they've released statements concerning the tragic event, no one is looking to forgive these celebrities anytime soon. At number 2, mental health. So many people were affected by the tragic events that occurred during the Astroworld concert, and many of them were left dealing with the trauma of the event. As you would imagine, the mental health of those affected have been seriously impacted, and so in an effort to help his fans, Travis Scott partnered with the virtual therapy service BetterHelp to give his fans a resource to help them through what they experienced. Fans who were at the Astroworld concert were offered 1 month of free service from BetterHelp, but even though this was a gesture to try and help the situation, it just got Travis in even more trouble with his fans. People had a lot to say about this partnership, and a lot of it was negative. Many fans argued that it was inappropriate for this tragedy to turn into a brand partnership, and others said that just 1 month of service wouldn't be enough for a lot of people because many of them are suffering from PTSD, and that takes a while and a lot of work to manage. Travis also came under fire when it was discovered that his foundation was covering the cost, which is only about $60 to $90 a month, which really isn't that much money in the grand scheme of things. But one of the biggest arguments against Travis and BetterHelp is the fact that the service says that BetterHelp isn't suitable if you are a minor, which a lot of the people who were at the concert were. Many fans think that this partnership was just designed to make Travis look better to his fans, but what do you guys think? At number 1, aftermath. Following all of the madness that has come from the Astroworld incident, Travis is now left picking up the pieces, and the aftermath of everything is really getting heavy. The biggest thing that Travis is now dealing with is a massive $2 billion lawsuit against him, Drake, Live Nation, Apple, and more. The suit was filed on behalf of nearly 300 plaintiffs. On top of the lawsuit though, the concert tragedy has left Travis's career and public image so damaged that a lot of brands and companies are starting to pull away from him. Nike has decided to postpone their collab with Travis in the wake of the concert tragedy, and W Magazine is apparently trying to pull their upcoming edition with Travis and Kylie. On top of that, there is reportedly a petition going around trying to have Travis removed from the Coachella lineup for next year, and it's already garnered tens of thousands of signatures, showing that fans don't want the potential for another repeat of Travis's most recent concert.